versus Fan Zhendong. But first, the world's top two. CHEN Meng recently will be, I guess, world number one come January. Starting off with the serve in this best of 7 love all. Quick start, cracking forehand. It's always interesting watching two players who can return just about everything and hit the ball hard enough to finish a point against almost anyone. Nice spin variation here, ball sneaking past the barriers. A tricky setup in the corner. An unstoppable force meeting an immovable object. That is the situation we feel like we're watching here when these two play. Again, almost dead even. Out of 12 matches, 7 to ZHU Yuling. Nice change here. Hooking ball down the middle of the table after 2 to the backhand. So many different factors here. I mean, you could make a really long list of all the qualities that are needed to be a world-class table tennis player. Pretty much the best at almost every checklist item there is.
No flash, please. No
Good call.
flash.
No flash, please, indeed. The court is well lit. The crowd in the background quite dark for a good reason. Giant flash can be quite distracting.
3, 1.
Controlled backhand. CHEN Meng quick at the back of the table. Now, my Russian nor my Kazakh are especially good, but I have to imagine that was please. No flash photography. No flashlights.
Let 3, 1.
Again, that patience and the placement. Parallel shot from the forehand. CHEN Meng making it quite difficult. ZHU Yuling really tends to be in the right spot at the right time. It's a bit of trouble tracking someone who's so clever. Not only clever, but doesn't telegraph at all, doesn't give many clues about where she's going. Oh, after all that, the net ball finishes the point. A few shots in this rally again look like they're gonna stop it. Gonna win the point outright. CHEN Meng testing ZHU Yuling's step around. It's slapped back opposite way. Not an easy ball there. Still a lot of topspin left on it. Also, CHEN Meng trying to play it out of reach as ZHU Yuling starts to play the odds. Already warned for stalling here. First towel break of game 1.
2, 5.
CHEN Meng shook her head a little bit. Being behind the table, she wants to play the ball out in front a little bit earlier so that she can come back into the table. Give ZHU Yuling a little bit less time, but again, coming back into the table is important whenever you have the opportunity. CHEN Meng reads that shot, starts moving wide to the forehand, and it puts more pressure on ZHU Yuling. Could that be me someday, the fans say? Table tennis women of Kazakhstan watching, studying the every move.
Let 6, 3.
Oh, second bounce on the table. Shorter serve from CHEN Meng, the rotation. Tough to read. Mostly side spin, it appeared. Oh, burned. Ball sits up a little bit, but from the back of the table, CHEN Meng still has the decisiveness, the foresight, and the power to hit a shot that's way out of reach here for ZHU Yuling. ZHU Yuling's solid at chasing, but if she doesn't keep it lower, in general, she's going to have to establish herself earlier in the point. A little surprised to see the point go this way. Soft, spinny one. But again, the slow points. ZHU Yuling against many players is in control. CHEN Meng has been pretty consistent and solid on the attack. All these close-ups of CHEN Meng's face, she actually looks like she could be a local Kazakh.
8-5.
We'll have to ask her later. I'll bet if she goes out for celebration later for dinner, people will speak to her in Kazakh or Russian, which is spoken in many of the big cities here, like Astana, like Almaty.
Let 8-5.
Very close. A little bit of extra spin from ZHU Yuling, but not phasing CHEN Meng. She brings it back to the backhand corner. After 2 in a row from ZHU Yuling, CHEN Meng getting back to a 4-point lead.
Let 5-9.
So swift with that forehand, the placement. They're going middle to middle, looking for each other's crossover points. Some hesitation. CHEN Meng finds it a little bit, gets a short stroke, and fools ZHU Yuling. She's just guessing so much right now. 5 game points for CHEN Meng. There's some pace. 1 game point saved, long way to go. ZHU Yuling does have the fast attacks when she needs them. Finds herself quite successful, sort of feeling out the opponent first. Unless she earns herself a clean opening attack, she's fine enough to just stay in the rally with you for a little bit.
Let 10-6.
Step around, not enough. Played well deep into the backhand side, and the short stroke of ZHU Yuling does not connect. 11-6, CHEN Meng takes the first game. We'll be back for game number 2 of the women's singles final right after this. Here we go back for game number 2. ZHU Yuling trailing, but she's got the serve to start. Not an especially close game 1, But again, ZHU Yuling can come back from just about anything. One of the best matches of 2017 Women's World Cup Final.
Love 1.
But quickly finding herself behind the table, ZHU Yuling does not want to have to be backing off. CHEN Meng has been very controlled, very specific in her opening shots.
Love.
Opening spin deep to the backhand. CHEN Meng still in control at the start here, now has the serves on her side. Now remember, $100,000 goes to the winner. This is the big prize money event of the year on the World Tour, the culmination.
Let 2, 1.
Spinny opening backhand again, and CHEN Meng is all over it like white on rice, just on top of it. No problem at all. Bit of side spin too. Nah, let my backhand take care of that for you. The break off the top of the net, this time favoring CHEN Meng. Table tennis karma evens it out here. The ball is round, they say. Which is actually true with the new balls. They are quite round, quite hard, good to play with. Oh, surprise, surprise. 5-1 at the first towel break. CHEN Meng from behind the table plays it down the line. One in the middle. Look at that stroke. Hardly any follow through just for a forehand. To generate that much spin, that much speed with such a short stroke. Physical fitness of the highest order. Back edge of the table, little break for CHEN Meng. ZHU Yuling just looking at her like, seriously. But again, part of the game. And so far it's been relatively even.
Let 6, 1.
That's interesting. On a let serve, ZHU Yuling takes it because it was over the table and likely to hit. It hit her racket first. If it was off the back of the table, would have been ZHU Yuling's point.
1, 7.
I can't even recall a time I've seen that. I guess it's just a question of how clear you are on where it is. I think ZHU Yuling was quite clear that the ball was going to come down on the table. Interesting, interesting. One serving 7 now. Second bounce on the table. Great length for a serve. Fooling CHEN Meng. Now this is the type of boldness I expect to see from ZHU Yuling. Fast, long serve into the body. Get into the rally quickly. Again, specifics on the placement here. And that one was a little bit more toward the elbow. CHEN Meng, a little softer shot, possibly some hesitation there before she took the stroke. Just the smallest amount, but it still makes a big difference at this level.
Let 7, 3. 3. 8, 3.
A little bit shorter, half-long serve with some underspin on it, and the push comes down into the net. CHEN Meng back up. You know, we see dominant first two games from time to time, and then a real switch, a change in momentum. CHEN Meng does not want that here.
3, 9.
That's the beauty of it. They said in the interview, we will bring the best level. We will give an excellent match. And it was handled very well. And this is something I think about China that's quite impressive, the team spirit. She didn't say I will, she said we will. Together, we will produce an incredible match.
3, 10.
So we're still waiting for ZHU Yuling to deliver score-wise on that. A 4-0 victory would not really be living up to the expectations. We will see 7 game points here in game 2. And 11-3. If you thought 11-6 was dominant, this is twice as dominant here in game 2. That would mean game 3 would have to be 11-1.5, which seems pretty unlikely. We'll see what happens. Game number 3 coming up right after this. Here we are back for game number 3. It's about time for ZHU Yuling to show up. The party has been going on for 2 games already. We will see. Fashionably late, definitely fashionable. Sunshine on her shoes. But it's CHEN Meng right now, who's only let up 9 points compared to the 22 she's won. It's a way to start to turn things around, take the first point against serve. So breaking 2 serves. And while you at home, the fans, would probably love to see this end deuce in game number 7. CHEN Meng would probably prefer it be 4-0 at this point. ZHU Yuling love 4-2 if she can get there. Softer spinny ball, good patience from CHEN Meng to stay on top of it. It's a fine balance, moving in to catch it at the right height, but also staying closed on such a spinny ball to control it.
Let 2, 1.
CHEN Meng has pinpointed the middle so well. It's not just that though, ZHU Yuling covers the middle. It's the fact that CHEN Meng can play it wide at any moment to either direction that ZHU Yuling's even uncomfortable to turn from the middle. Sort of crazy if you think about it, to have to be concerned at that level. just missing. Outstanding rally again. That guy's ready to play, but not with these players. Still not a point has been won from the server. Where's the rip? Turn and it comes right back. Cross court. Even wider, CHEN Meng just missing. So that is the first point won by a server so far in this game. Not typical. This is credit to the serve. ZHU Yuling, a little bit of a shovel serve here. Gets the third ball she wants, plays it down the middle. So this is the game. This is the game that ZHU Yuling would really need to take to help her chances here in the case for coming back. Although as a spectator, if she comes back from down 0-3, you'll get comfy in your seats while she's down 0-3, but the comeback starts. You'll keep finding your way towards the edge. One thing I really love and admire is the balance out here. CHEN Meng is behind the table by quite a bit. She punches the ball back deep on the table. Right after this, watch her come back in, leans forward, starts to move back in, and even though she misses that shot, if it comes down, she's right where she wants to be. Wasn't overly ambitious. I mean, she did miss the shot. Seemed like a pretty reasonable request. Inside out forehand, arm dragging behind. CHEN Meng, every time she falls behind, comes right back up, just 1 point down and now back even. She recovers from that huge forehand stroke. ZHU Yuling plays it back a little bit to the middle forehand side. The forehand side of that is enough for CHEN Meng to get recoiled for another attack, change up the angle. Two grunting forehands from CHEN Meng. She's working hard for the shots. 3 in a row for CHEN Meng coming into the second towel break of the game. Rarely do we hear CHEN Meng grunting. No sound on the slow-mo replay, but she's testing ZHU Yuling, and she's right where she needs to be for that next ball. Again, very efficient strokes. Long serve to the middle to set up the point on top of the table. ZHU Yuling, no timeout. Hasn't taken one yet. Feels like she could be on the verge of one, but again, when you're behind, doesn't seem like the best time to save. People tend to call their timeouts later and later in the match when there are no coaches in the corner. Well played, out of reach. Ball sits up too high there. You'll have a much better sense of how high it is on this ball. Wow, that's way up over head height. This is what it looks like when ZHU Yuling sees a lob. Maybe not a sky lob or just a spinny shot that arcs up that high anyway, a high ball. Misses the contact. I thought the serve set up a nice third ball for ZHU Yuling, but she didn't go anxious, played steady into the rally. CHEN Meng back up by 3. Could have been a 1-point differential here. Again, this arguably is the crucial game to start a comeback. Back edge of the table for CHEN Meng. Not overwhelmingly more lucky today, but a bit more fortune. Maybe 2 ahead. 4 game points for CHEN Meng. Apologizes again to her dear friend, the temporary arch nemesis on the table. There's that look again. What can she do? There it is, 3-0. CHEN Meng, 1 game away from a complete shutout here in the women's singles final, the championship match of the year. The World Tour Grand Finals champion will be determined right here in this match. The question is it going to be game 4? Game 4 coming up. Watch and find out.
Game.
So here we are, game number 4. ZHU Yuling in hot water right now. She's hanging on to the cliff right now. You can see she's sweating, starting off with the serve. Well played, forcing a softer, spinny shot from behind the table from CHEN Meng. A lot of work in this rally. ZHU Yuling coming out a bit more fast pace early in the rally. We'll see how that tactic works out for her. It is a bit out of the norm, but that's what you have to do when you're losing 3 games in a row with an average of 5 points per game. If it's broken, that's the time to fix it. Try something outside of the box. But with the ball that high, it's going to be tough for ZHU Yuling to stay that close to the table. Again, we rarely see exhibition points in the women's game. I think it'd have to be a 10-3 score, which we've seen already. Game number 2. It's an 11-3 victory for CHEN Meng. Timeout, is it coming soon? Sometimes body language is a big factor. Also, we see timeouts called when someone misses a shot, loses a point that they thought they reasonably had. That last ball looked like it should have been ZHU Yuling's. So all this talk about exhibition point and whatnot, they're even here. First 2 points split seems unlikely again. Should be a fight to the finish. Hopefully not too one-sided of a fight. CHEN Meng fans throughout China and around the world probably would have no problems with a 4-0 victory here. That's the power and the placement, middle to middle. ZHU Yuling hopping around a bit, takes the backhand out wide. Opening spin shot, very spinny. And that last one gets the elbow out a little bit wider to create some room for a backswing on that backhand. Generates more spin and speed. Quite impressive. Oh man, the ball disappears on the white of the line. This is living on the edge, but it's as clean as a whistle. Beauty to finish. The rally was building and building superhuman speed. Once again, ZHU Yuling finds herself in a point that makes you question physics and what you think you might know. Ay caramba. First towel break of the game. Audience needs the towel break for sure. Struggle here, ZHU Yuling in the lead. This is around the time where we see a timeout. She walks away from the table. Got to be a warning. Typically there would be. They've been asked, please play. I'll be curious to see as table tennis continues to grow internationally, if there are rules about how many seconds before you're faulted for time between serves.
5, 3.
Patient play, ZHU Yuling fools. More so the idea that there'll be less time between serves. Player could be faulted for delaying the game too much. Umpire's not trying to interfere, simply trying to keep the players playing, keep everything fair. Oh, what happened? ZHU Yuling, she stopped. I don't know if she thought her shot had missed. This was that interesting wrist shot where it doesn't snap. She keeps the wrist and sort of spins it up softly, less rotation. Typically comes in with a big shot to follow. Players sometimes miscalculating, moves more centrally on the table out to the forehand side.
Let 5, 4.
Oh, nice shot.
6.
The reaction, the body language right now is so strange from ZHU Yuling. And she's clearly in her head. I don't know where else you really could be. But especially so after making a shot like that from over the table.
No flash.
Not so often we're having major events in Kazakhstan, so the culture's still settling in. But to tell you the truth, around the world, there are always a few people, even in Germany and China, that have their flash on and just don't realize it. Back edge of the table, checks the racket to make sure that she doesn't crack the rubber. Nothing is damaged. We'll see, is it? Who knows? Cleaning it off, didn't sound like too bad of contact. Oh man, that crossed the body shot, CHEN Meng. Big risk, yes sir, that smile, I understand the feeling. Somebody plays a shot like this under pressure. The point started with some quite awkward shots. Very slow, uncomfortable to the corner. CHEN Meng taking that risk and it pays off. It's funny, even leading 3-0, to stay in the lead or to come back from down, you have to take risks against world number 1, ZHU Yuling. As opposed to the future world number 1, CHEN Meng. Even though CHEN Meng loses this point, I just love how fast she can hit that backhand with such a short stroke. Confidently, time and time again. So talked about the possible comeback from down 0-3. Still a ways to go, but ZHU Yuling in the best position she's been in, outscoring her high score of 6.
6, 8.
With all the pacing around, I would imagine, well, who knows? I would just wonder if ZHU Yuling would call a timeout if CHEN Meng wins this point. Not using your timeout when you could have is sort of like he who dies with the most toys still dies. CHEN Meng, is it timeout time for ZHU Yuling? One more point and CHEN Meng has tied it up. Is she considering that? Maybe just her tactics, that's what she's considering. Okay, that's it, she's ready to rock, here she goes. ZHU Yuling still up by one, CHEN Meng with her second serve here. Step around top edge of the table there. CHEN Meng again going risky, playing it across the body to the short side. Look at this serve, tucks right into the body. Wrapping, wow, that's a beautiful shot. Still apologizing for the edge, just changing the trajectory a little bit. So she is back, CHEN Meng is back, tied up 3 in a row. Oh, after all that, the high one. CHEN Meng plays 2 shots wide to the forehand. Her patterns in this point were so clever. Look at this, side top, right back behind ZHU Yuling. Gets this ball, this is a gift wrapped with a card in it. Dear CHEN Meng, thank you for being a friend. Oh, I'm sorry you couldn't receive my gift. But ZHU Yuling will be happy to take that back. 9-8, she's leading by 1 here. Oh, burn down the line, gets her off balance and plays it wide to the backhand, tied right up again. CHEN Meng, I felt like mentally after the last point it would be tough to come back. For many it would. As soon as those feet come together and the bodies turn sideways, ZHU Yuling is, well, up somebody's creek without a racket. I was gonna say without a paddle, but it's more US slang for racket. Also works for the creek pun though. So we will see. CHEN Meng has the serves here. This game will only be won by 2 points no matter who it is. Whether it's 11-9, some deuce score. The long push pays off in the short game. ZHU Yuling's receive was just amazing. And CHEN Meng comes in right off the bounce, plays it deep into the body. And now we have championship points for CHEN Meng to take the title, in addition to the 3 titles she's taken this year. Oh, not yet. ZHU Yuling saves a match point. Spinny opening. A little bit shallow on the table, mistimed. Interesting, interesting. 1 point away from a 4-0 win. If this goes to game 7, hypothetically, remember that. 1 point away from a 4-0 win. But here we are, always right now. Deuce in game number 4. 2 out wide to the forehand again. The power, CHEN Meng so strong. Again, I mentioned I bumped into her while we were making our Ask a Pro Anything, and she is solid. Second match point here for world rank number 2, CHEN Meng. CHEN Meng takes it. Is she a custodian? Because she just had the cleanest win I have seen in quite some time. 4-0, holding down ZHU Yuling, last year's champion from Doha, Qatar, to 6-3, 6, and 10. unbelievable performance, and there is no question that in 2017, CHEN Meng has earned her world #1 ranking. 3 World Tour titles and the World Tour Grand Finals. She could not script it better. 2017, despite not taking the ITTF Star Award, not even being nominated, she is the Woman of the Year for me right now, and she finishes on a high note. Women's doubles champion, women's singles champion, women's world #1. Hand on the shoulder of a dear friend who stood by her in injury and now down to the court for a live interview with ITTF's own Johnny Cowan. And from here, it's tough to tell who the translator is, but it should be fun. So let's hear from the Woman of the Year.
Ladies and gentlemen, World Tour Grand Finals Women's Singles Champion this year from China, CHEN Meng! CHEN Meng, congratulations, you are the Grand Finals champion. Did you expect to win 4-0 in the final?
恭喜陈梦获得总决赛冠军。那个在赛前的话，你有预料到这次会以4-0终结这场比赛吗？
并没有吧。没想到能4-0取得这场比赛的胜利吧。我还是做好了在赛前做好了打满7局的准备吧，因为我俩也有刚交手过。然后虽然我取得了胜利在之前，但是赢得并不轻松吧，所以这场比赛还是准备的比较充分吧，可能有一些运气的成分。
I haven't prepared. I haven't expected I can win 4-0, and actually I prepared a lot before the match, and maybe there's some luck with me.
You always need some luck, of course. And in January, CHEN Meng, you will be the world #1, so a fantastic end to 2017 and start to 2018.
到了2018年的1月份，你就是世界第1了，非常恭喜你。
Thank you, thank you.
You are pleased, Gao Xing, you are happy?
Very, very happy.
Very, very happy, fantastic. What will you do now, CHEN Meng? Will you have a party? Will you celebrate? Will you relax for the next couple of weeks? What will the Grand Finals champion do for the next couple of weeks?
在接下来的几周里面，你有什么打算？你打算是放松一下，或者是说是去度假休假这样子呢？
没有机会休假吧，因为回去我们还有国内的比赛，所以其实这次每一次比赛的结束就意味着另一个比赛的开始吧，所以还是要继续努力吧。
Yeah, I don't have time to take break, and when I back to China, I have another match to go. So every end of the one game, another game is beginning.
Fantastic, a true champion playing right through in the next couple of weeks. Grand Finals champion, give it up, CHEN Meng!
So there you have it, CHEN Meng, a few words, no rest to be the best. Didn't know that would rhyme when I started the sentence, but either way, a good thing to remember. It is hard work out here. After all, a nation of what, 1.4 billion, and so many table tennis players to be here on the world stage, the World Tour Grand Finals champion, to be CHEN Meng today. There could only be one. So she gets right back to fighting to stay and retain her place as world #1, and the fans get the autograph balls from the hardest working woman on the planet right now. CHEN Meng, congratulations. And to you, sir, who just caught the ball. More balls coming up, and one more match that will be a thriller for sure. It is Dmitry Ovcharov, world #1 come January, versus Fan Zhendong, world #2 currently, in the rematch from the German Open semifinals. Stay right here. You're watching the Seamaster 2017 ITTF World Tour Grand Finals.